Hey, it's Brian Mudd. This is my cheat sheet for Tuesday, January the 8th. You ready for the latest casualty of the debt ceiling? If we haven't reached a point of absolute frustration with the federal government now, this one could potentially do it. First of all, at the current pace that we're running up debt, which seems to be ever faster, the new window that we could actually hit the debt ceiling wouldn't necessarily be that February 28th date. It's possible that we could hit the debt ceiling as early as February 15th, bumping up by 2 weeks the previous projections. And are you ready for part of what might be behind the acceleration of that timetable? And also the implication to you? Tax filing. Tax filing. Specifically, who are those that usually like to file early? Those that know that they have a refund coming. I don't know too many people that are in a rush to give the government even more money as soon as possible in the new year. And we already had a delay on the tax forms. A lot of folks that wanted to file right away in January have been held up because of everything that went on with the fiscal cliff deal that got done. So the IRS is in the position right now of getting the tax forms together to get to the tax professionals that will do your taxes and the companies that provide software like TurboTax. And they're anticipating that there's going to be a rush of tax filing in early to mid-February, with you wanting your tax refund. A funny thing happened though, right? Because in this country, we don't have enough money to do business in any given day. We have to borrow to do that, right? The government, as we approach the debt ceiling, will not necessarily have the money to send you your tax refund. More than $80 billion of tax refunds are expected to be requested during the month of February. And if we hit the debt ceiling and the government doesn't have enough money to be able to pay the bills, especially since the timetable is being accelerated, well, you could see how this could all go. Now, could you go without potentially getting your refund? Well, remember, if we hit the debt ceiling, the government does have revenue. They have to prioritize what gets paid and what doesn't. So at that point, it would be a matter of their priorities as to if and when you get your tax refund. Now, we know the overwhelming odds are that you will, but the question of timing could still very much be an issue. So if you're planning on filing your taxes as soon as you have the ability to do so, looking for a sizable tax refund, the one thing you probably have to do at this point is not plan on where that money is going, provided that it's going to be sometime within February or even March. More fun with your money and your federal government. Anagram. All right. Today's listener question was actually one I received near the end of last Thursday, that I'm going to tie in with an update to something that happened yesterday. The independent foreclosure review. Remember, you had two settlements with the big banks earlier in the year, two agreements that went into play, one at the state level, one at the federal level. Well, at the federal level, there was an independent foreclosure review process set up. And I even told you about this on multiple timelines, including near the end of the year, to make sure you get your form in if you're eligible for a review. This means that you might have been a victim of improper loan practices by the big banks during the housing boom, that you are eligible for up to $125,000 in compensation. Well, right before the deadline to get all forms in on December 31st, the government canceled it. People have been turning in forms all year. And I received a note from a listener who said all they received was a note back saying the program had been canceled. That really stinks for somebody who had been wronged once and now they felt like they were wronged twice. You might have heard about this settlement with 10 big banks yesterday. Here's what this means. $3.3 billion, this is as a resolution, it's instead of the independent foreclosure review that was supposed to have taken place. $3.3 billion has been set aside for victims of improper loan practices with the big banks in 2009 and 2010, part of the robo-signing deal at the federal level too. What this means is, if you are likely eligible for some type of compensation if you went through a foreclosure in 2009 or 2010 with any one of the 10 big banks that participated in the settlement. As to timeline, we've been given none yet as to when you could receive your money. We were told that the amount you could receive could still be up to the $125,000 that we've been told about with the independent foreclosure review. I'll keep you posted as we get more information. Now, more than $5 billion was also set aside for existing homeowners that might have loans that were originated with improper loan practices by these same 10 big banks. So over $5 billion in principal reduction and loan modifications are supposed to be issued out to existing homeowners. So that could obviously be relevant to you if you're still holding a loan that was originated during the period in question around 2005, 6, 7, 8. So anyway, we have to wait to get more information. I know it's frustrating, but theoretically, there really is going to be compensation and some resolution for victims of these practices during the housing boom. I've got several other things I want you to check out on the Fiscal Cheat Sheet today, including rental vacancy rates at 4.5% right now. That's the lowest level we've seen rental vacancies since 2001. Remember yesterday we had the story that we have the most international interest in American real estate since 2001? All this is shaping up to even put more fuel behind the real estate recovery. Because as rental and vacancy rates go down, it opens up two doors. One, if you're interested in investing in real estate or renting out property, your odds of having a low vacancy rate is excellent. And then also, if you're renting and the vacancy rates are going lower, what's happening? Well, rents are rising. So that's also pushing some people in the direction of buying a home rather than continuing to rent and have to pay higher rent rates. So all kinds of themes there within the housing recovery. And I have stories about even the majority of companies now looking to add perks. Over 60% of companies looking to add perks for existing employees, and a couple other stories about investing as well on the Fiscal Cheat Sheet. That is it for today. Enjoy yours, and we shall see you tomorrow.